Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Good to be here with you tonight. Sorry I'm running late, guys. I had company and they weren't leaving. So here I am. Good to be here with you guys tonight. And thank you all for joining me. For those of you that were here this morning, thanks for coming back. And for those of you that weren't, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you here, guys. So great to see you guys tonight. Uh, Tonight, guys, we're jumping into episode 16 of the Midnight series I'm running. And it is in regards to the true story behind the Green River Killer, which we got the idea off of um, last week's episode. Pretty interesting. There's a lot to it, folks. Um, so come on in, guys. Grab your popcorn, coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come on in, sit down, have a chat with me. We're going to talk about the Green River serial killer. Spooky. Interesting, though. Seriously interesting. All right, let me get some notifications out to some people that don't get them ever from YouTube. For whatever reason, they do not get them. I don't know why, but I make sure they get something. Let's see who we got in the house with us here tonight. Looks like Strike First. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Miss Heather's in the house. Good to see you. Always, always good to see you. Good point, Miss Heather. Miss Brandy, always welcome. Clarissa Hendershot. I'm new here. Well, welcome, Miss Clarissa. It's wonderful to have you here. I hope you enjoy yourself. Um, I usually run my streams, daytime streams. I run between 11 to 11:30 for a couple. Today was a long one, about 4 hours. And we do the true crime scenarios. And in the evenings, your first time here, it's kind of interesting, but in the evenings on Mondays and Thursdays, I do a special thing where we look for the true stories behind Hollywood movies that have a lot of true crime basis to them, and there's a lot of movies that have true stories behind them. So that's what I do is I go in and I give you guys the true story behind that movie and see what you think of it. So welcome again, Clarissa. It's great to have you here. I hope to see you here again. I hope you enjoy yourself. Pookie's in the house. Good to see you, Pookie. Always happy to have Pookie here. Mr. Larry's back from this morning. Good to see you, Larry. Thanks for joining us again. Let's see. Miss Kim is back. Good to see you, Kim. Always, always happy to see you guys. Let's see. Who else do we have? Anybody else yet? Not yet. Come on in, guys. Find a seat. Plenty of room. Get comfortable. Mrs. M's here. Welcome, Mrs. M. Good to have you. Again, guys, please, please, please leave me some DNA when you come in the door on that like button. If you would, please, I appreciate it. Share this out. Absolutely share this out. I appreciate that. And at the end of the show, if you guys, whether you liked it or you hated it or whatever it is, if you think I look crazy because I shaved, whatever you want to tell me, leave me a comment in the comment section, please, guys. It's really important to me and to YouTube. Whatever's important to YouTube has to be important to me. So please, please, I appreciate it if you would do that. I appreciate that so much, guys. Again, share this out. Your friends, your family, your neighbors, people you hate, whatever it is. Let them know we're doing this, guys. I got plenty of room and would love to see more people in here. Again, I got to get these sent out to a couple more people, folks. My apologies. You know, I'm not very good with multitasking, so got to do what I got to do. All right. All right. Got that one out. One moment. Let's see. Who else am I missing here? I may not have everybody here, but I guess that's probably going to be it. Anywho, come on in, everybody. Get comfortable. I'm going to give you guys just a few moments. If you wouldn't mind giving me a second to grab my drink, I will be right back. Not as bad as that, though. Huh? How about that? Come on in, everybody. Uh, are you serious, Mama Bear? I had to grab my drink. Put it behind. Thank God for Molly. I don't want my mouth dry while I'm talking. Well, did Kyra get the membership? Kyra, welcome to the club. You got to be people, folks. Welcome to the source. Molly, good golly, Miss Molly. Thank you, my dear, for the phone call. Like I said, honest to God, when you called, that is what made my company. You can't just say, hey, yeah, you know what I mean? So, full, yeah, I think right, that uh, the internet is not as great. So we're gonna be making a phone call tomorrow. Back to the board with this crap again. So what are you gonna do? So my apologies, folks, about that. Like I said, I had my wife's friend and her husband and their son, and is that better, PPR? How's that? Is that any better? Yes or no? Because I think it was an internet spot again. It's good now. Okay, yeah. It when it does that, guys, it's my internet going in and out, and my lights are all good. So my apologies. My apologies again. Nothing. I can't do anything right, I guess. So be it. Miss Pamela, welcome. Good to see you, my dear. And again, Clarissa, welcome. Sorry for you had to jump in, or you had to jump in here tonight when I'm having a bad night with this crap. So I hope you enjoy it either way. Tonight, guys, like I said, we're talking about the Green River Killer. Um, we kind of touched base on it a little bit last week when we were talking about Silence of the Lambs, the true story behind that. And kind of gave us the idea to jump into it today. So, and then Thursday night, we'll be doing another one of these. And we got lots to do this week, guys. Lots to do. Ask Mama Bear, she'll tell you. I hope everybody that was here this morning enjoyed what we went over this morning. Well, enjoyed per se, but I appreciate everybody's input again. That was great this morning, guys. It really was. I think we got our hooks into something, and thanks to Red, he's not here right now, but for the opposition, that always helps. Always helps. So once again, welcome everybody. All you awesome meatballs just decided to come in here and jump into sauce with me tonight so we can spill a little bit of it and tell the story behind the Green River Killer. Love it, like it, hate it, whatever it is. Leave me a comment at the end, guys. That's all that matters. Yes, we have lots to do tonight, or this week, for sure. I'll be researching and B searching and C searching and A searching and D searching, all sorts of stuff, guys, because there is a lot to look into. We got a couple pretty bad cases to go over. So I hope you guys are all ready for it, because it's going to be going down this week and next week. We got some feelers out to possibly get some interviews with some people. I can't make any promises, but we're working on it. Miss CC, the sweetest lady on the internet, is in the house. Welcome, my dear. Good to see you. 14 people tonight, huh? One of these days, we're going to get a full house for this. I promise you guys. One of these days. And for those of you that aren't familiar, after the show, we like to jump on over to Professional Paranormal Research. He's live, and he always has a great show on Mondays and Tuesdays, guys. Please go check out Dustin and the rest of his amazing crew, the other half of our family. It's a little different than what we do, guys. It's all about the paranormal, but it is so interesting. You got to check it out. We'll have the link down here in the chat for those of you that are not familiar with it, but please go show them some love, subscribe, He deserves it. He works hard over there just as much as we do over here. Wonderful community, guys. You'll love it over there if you haven't been there yet. You got to check it out, folks. You got to check it out. We got a few channels that we throw out links to, guys. Of course, Publicly Buzzed, The Drunk Turkey Show, Professional Paranormal Research. We got a whole group in this corner over here, guys, and we all kind of work with each other and help each other out when we can, because it's what it's all about, guys. It's what it's all about. All right. Well, 17. I guess we're doing good. Yes, Red was on a roll. That's a fact, Kim. That's a fact. Absolutely, brother. You know, it's all about the love. There it is. Thank you, Miss Cece. Thank you, Pookie, for subbing to PPR. Appreciate that. We had some people in there last week. Like I said, we usually try to jump over and thank you, Miss Heather. There it is, guys. There it is. There's the link. Either way you take it. Thank you, CC and Miss Heather. I appreciate you both. And like I said, if you're into any type of paranormal, please check it out. You guys, like I said, some of my moderators are moderators over there as well. So that shows you how close we are, guys. And I think you'll really get a kick out of it. And you get to see the other side of me, because I usually always end up on his panel. And it brings out the intellect that I don't get to show you guys so often. So. All right. Who brought the donuts? Who brought the pizza? Who got the popcorn? I guess that's probably going to be it to start with. So let's see here, guys. Again, the Green River Killer. I'll show you guys a little clip if I can find it. There's a couple B-rated movies that they came out with for this. I mean, it depends on your taste in movies. It is what it is. But there's multiple stories about this, okay? And there's a lot of background to this one. And it's just another interesting story. If you're into this stuff, guys, I'm telling you right now, you should enjoy it. All right. Let me see here. Let me show you a little. There was one in a Lifetime that I saw. I'll give you guys a little look on the movie itself. The one movie that I have seen, I've seen two of them actually. I Sound Funny. Still? Or is this before? How do I sound now, guys? Telling you guys, I'm having internet things again. Let me know how it sounds. One moment, please. Yeah, the one with Tom Cavanaugh is the one I was talking about. Hold on, guys. I think there's background noise too. All right. All right, guys. Let's check this out real quick here.
I love you and I miss you. Wait, look, we did our little Easter village. Look.
Let me know how the audio is, folks.
Out of the way, please. No comment. Nothing to say at this stage.
You okay, Dad?
Thank you, Brandon.
Detective Richards.
Yes.
I'm Bob Keller. I work with the FBI Behavioral Science Unit. I thought maybe I could help.
We were just heading home. We were?
You had a direct experience with a serial killer. You aren't just consulting on case files.
I have. Back in '74, I was a rookie detective. We identified Ted Bundy as the main suspect in the murders.
What's it like coming face to face with someone like that?
Murderers who strangle often speak of an intimate connection they feel with the victim as they die.
Hey, Julie.
Hey. He plans what he wants to do in his mind, down to the smallest detail. By the time he closes in, it's almost like it's already happened.
Do you think he's the killer?
Something in my gut tells me he is.
You also get a link to the Discord, Kyra, where you can hang out with everybody throughout the day, every day.
Your husbands were everywhere, and there will be more of your children dead tomorrow.
At some point, you're going to be face to face with the Green River Killer.
All right, there it is. And how do you do the emojis? I've been on forever and don't know how. I'm not sure how to do that stuff. The moderators know how to work all that. I've never ever messed with them because I don't have any for myself. But all right, let me get this set up for you guys, and we will get to moving. Mod Squad, what's happening? Thanks for joining us tonight. Good to have you here. You guys working through that? Good deal. Thank you, mods, for helping with that. I appreciate it. All right, guys, let me get this rolling. Okay. Fingers crossed. All right, guys. And we're off, everybody. The true story behind the Green River Killer, Mr. Gary Ridgway, if you may. And please, again, let me know how the audio is and if everything's looking good. Give you guys some subtitles just in case you can't understand it. All right. Okay. And again, folks, my apologies for running behind. I feel bad. Uh-oh, you guys figured out all the emojis, huh? They're oblong. Okay. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. We're a family in here. That's what it's all about. Again, anybody that has not, if you're interested, check out becoming a member, folks. Become a meatball, jump in a sauce with the rest of us and hang out. Like I said, you get the emojis to play around with. You get the meatballs. You get a link to the Discord where you can hang out with everybody else. It's called The Sauce, the channel in Discord. And they're in and out of there all day long talking about stuff. You guys get early updates to what we're going to be covering before everybody else gets it, so on and so forth. So it's worth checking out. At least I've been told it is. And orange covering eyes. I wish the StreamYard would show the emojis, though. I don't see it unless I'm looking at the YouTube side of things. So anyway, off we go.
Gary Leon Ridgway was born on the 18th of February,
Let me know how the
1958,
audio is.
in Salt Lake City, Utah. He was the second born of 3 boys, to May and Tom. He spent most of while his father worked long hours. His mother was not a loving woman, and the boys in their which off island to Washington State. Ray was diagnosed with dyslexia and was tested, of which results stated that he had an IQ within the low 80s, which ensured that he was held back for a year at school. But when he was 16, the anger that he had felt throughout his childhood had surfaced. And when he was only a child himself, he led a young boy from his neighborhood to the local woods, where he stabbed him, puncturing his liver. He miraculously survived the attack and told the police that he heard Ridgway laughing aloud as he left the scene of this horrendous crime, saying he had always wondered what it would be like to kill someone. Luckily for the boy, this fantasy had not come true, but this was the start of a crime spree which would shock all of America. Ridgway eventually graduated Tyee High School in 1969 and found love and married a 19-year-old woman called Claudia Craig. They were high school sweethearts. Not long after they wed, Ridgway enlisted himself in the United States Navy and was soon posted to Vietnam after he had completed the training. He spent a long time there, and while he was in Vietnam, he was known to use the services of local prostitutes. And after some time, from one of these girls, he contracted an STI, which he was treated for. But his marriage to Claudia ended.
Probably help I muted myself. But again, STI, guys, is the same thing as what I would consider an STD, sexually transmitted infection. And again, Heather, thank you so very much. Anybody that would want to consider supporting the channel, it's very, very much appreciated at this point. I have the links for Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App up there. For anybody that would like to do that, I do appreciate that so very much. It helps to keep me up and running, keeps the bills paid, guys. So thank you so much for that. And back to it, folks. I just wanted to explain what the STI thing was in case anybody was confused.
That both had been unfaithful in the marriage. Ridgway remarried a couple of times after Claudia and was also now interested in Christianity, where he found God. He spent a lot of time reading passages from the Bible as a pastime and also to his neighbours, trying to spread the word of the Bible and the Christian faith. But against the rules of the Bible, he still continued to enjoy the company of sex workers who peruse the local area in which he lived. He would then be said to often moan to people about their presence in the neighbourhood, saying that they made the town look messy. In 1982, a task force had been set up by police due to the fact that many bodies of young women were being found around the Green River area, all of whom had been killed by one assailant. Hence the nickname the authorities had come up with for this newly found serial killer. They named him the Green River Killer. Ridgway was soon put in the sights of the police. A witness had come forward and made a statement to say that they had seen the latest victim get into Ridgway's truck. The victim was a known prostitute who touted for business in the local area. And in 1983, Ridgway was taken to the police station and questioned in depth. He, of course, denied all of the allegations put to him. Then, police asked him to take a lie detector test. Ridgway agreed to do the test, although the test could not be used in court as evidence, because at this time, these types of tests were not well known or able to be used in courtrooms. And to the shock of the police, he passed this test and had to be released with no charge. The police, now thinking they had got it wrong, continued to hunt for their serial killer. Sadly, the bodies kept being discovered, over 30 bodies of women in fact. And in 1987, another path led the police straight back to Ridgway. This time, it was a report that was filed by an officer who in 1982, back when the murders first started, said they saw Ridgway with a prostitute in a parked car, not long before a body was found in that exact same place. The police knew there had to be a connection. This was no coincidence. So once again, they brought him in. This time, they thought it was best to be thorough, and they performed a search of his property, car, and even his workplace. They were looking for familiar fibres from either a carpet or rope, which matched the fibres found on many of the bodies that had been recovered in and around the Green River area. They also got a DNA swab from him. But DNA was not as advanced as what it is now, and a match was not made, and none of the items being searched for were found. So again, but reluctantly, Ridgway was sent on his way, back to his life with his new third wife and son from his previous marriage. Police knew they had been close to their main suspect for the killings that had been discovered. The task force remained adamant they would find their man. Many women, all of whom were prostitutes or drug users or hitchhikers, were being killed. They were being picked up from the Pacific Highway. Most of these victims were strangled and dumped by the Green River area, all except 4 who were found in areas like Portland, said to be put there to confuse the police and make them think that they were not part of this man's victim count. Although Ridgway's IQ was low, he was a clever murderer. He would often take items from the floor around the area, such as cigarette butts and cans, and then place them near the bodies of the victims to try and send the police off on a different lead using the DNA from these items. If he was scratched or hurt by any of those victims, he would cut their nails down to stop DNA being lifted from them. He would strangle them so there was no bloodshed. All intelligent moves from a man that was apparently not intelligent. He himself considered killing these women as his career. Officers were stumped. They didn't have a solid lead or suspect with motive, means, or opportunity for these killings happening in the early 1980s. They were so perplexed, they even went to the prison who held the notorious serial killer, Ted Bundy, to speak to him to see if he could help with the profile of this killer. But still nothing.
I keep talking while it's muted. You know that has happened so many times more than it hasn't, where they're going to prisons to talk to other serial killers to try to learn how to find somebody. I mean, can you believe that? It's crazy if you think about it. You know, they're going to get advice from a serial killer to catch a serial killer. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense, but it floors me. I'm just saying, it does happen. They've done it more times than none, guys. They've done that. There was something going on. I can't remember where it was, but they had spoke with Jeffrey Dahmer. They had a conversation with Richard Ramirez one time. I mean, it's weird, guys. It's weird. All right.
He went cold. That was until late November 2001. DNA advances had been made, and there was suddenly a hit from the DNA on the women to a man who was on the database. It was Gary Ridgway. His DNA matched only 4 of the victims. The police rushed to the Kenworth truck factory where he was working at the time and arrested him for the killings of 4 of the Green River Killer's victims.
Welcome, sunshine.
Ridgway was questioned, and he, of course, once again denied everything, even though the police told him that the DNA was proof that he had committed these horrendous crimes. Not only that, he could now also be linked to a further 3 victims. The police knew he was the Green River Killer, but had to rely on the evidence, so only able to assign 7 of the victims to him currently. This is why the police thought that there was another killer as well as Ridgway. Maybe they were even working together. Police still continued to question Ridgway. Then after months of this questioning, finally, the police got what they were expecting all along. Ridgway confessed to the killings of all of the remaining 42 women who had been murdered. In total, 49 needless deaths. Too many names to say. He also spoke about another 6 women that he had killed. These murders were not assigned to the Green River Killer, so this was a revelation the police were not expecting. The murder count was now well into its 50s. He then went on to lead police to many places for them to search, all of which contained other bodies, all of women he had killed during his active time as a serial killer. He went on to tell police that his killings did not stop until the year of 1998, nearly 20 years of killing, not at the same rate as the river killings occurred. In November 2003, Gary Leon Ridgway entered a guilty plea to 48 first-degree murders. He asked for a plea deal, stating that he wished to avoid the death penalty, as he did in fact help the police to locate many of the bodies, which they would not have discovered.
I have to agree with Pookie Madoodle. When I researched this guy, there's a lot more than I think than what he admitted to, guys. I mean, a lot more. I think there's so many that he may have forgotten, truthfully. Most of what? One moment, please. Sorry about that. But yeah, there is. I don't know. I don't know if I would say 100, Pookie. I would say more like. I'm gonna venture to say it's in the 50s, guys. I really would say that, but that's just my opinion. There's a lot
Discovered if it wasn't for him. This plea was agreed with and accepted. The death penalty was off the table. He told courts about his plans, that he moved victims to throw police off his tail. He told them about moving of the items with DNA. The judge was at the centre of outrage because of the plea which he accepted, and also because they would only go forward with 7 counts of murder instead of over 40. Even though Gary Ridgway admitted them all. In a statement, the prosecutor, Jeffrey Baird, said, "We could have gone forward with more, but 7 counts is all we could have ever hoped to solve. At the end of the trial, there still would have been lingering doubts about the rest of these crimes. Gary Ridgway does not deserve our mercy. He does not deserve to live. The mercy provided by today's resolution is directed towards the families who have already suffered enough."
That is true.
Then on the 18th of December 2003, Judge Jones sentenced Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, to the only thing he could, and that was 48 concurrent life sentences with no chance of parole. He was also sentenced to a further 10 years for evidence tampering. Since Ridgway has been in prison, bodies are still being recovered. Bodies of people that he has killed and that he has not told police about. All of the bodies.
And there it is, guys. And I have a feeling that these people are going to continue to find bodies after bodies after bodies from this guy. This guy was insane. Is insane. I mean, I think he probably holds the record to the most consecutive killings as far as serial killers go. Other than like a mass, situation, but this one, I mean, it's nuts. And it's hard to believe that he had, first of all, the time or the ability to do this. You know what I mean? What are you guys talking about? Cupcakes and stuff? Don't do that. You're gonna make me hungry. Anywho, like I said, guys, it's insane how many bodies that they just keep finding with this guy. It's crazy.
Bodies are of women. Ridgway has since confessed many more murders. In a taped interview, Ridgway told of over 65 victims. Then again, another interview, he spoke about over 70. He described his victims as easy to pick up, and when asked about why many of his victims were prostitutes, he simply replied, "I hated all of them." Once tried and sentenced, he went on to tell the media that he was involved in sexual assaults in a majority of these cases. If this was to be said before his trial, a plea may not have been given, and he could have faced the death penalty. After spending over 10 years in solitary confinement in Washington State Penitentiary, he was transferred to USP Florence High, which is a high-security federal prison in Colorado. But due to the open investigation on many murders Ridgway still there, it was easy to have him close by. And by the request of Ridgway, on the 24th of October 2015, he was moved by private plane back to Washington State, where he will spend the rest of his life for being the Green River Killer and murderer of many more. He is surely one of the worst serial killers ever. Unfortunately, we do not know the exact extent of this man's murder spree. But if we are to believe his statements, Gary Leon Ridgway is accountable for over 70 murders of young women in the Washington area. The question is, any murder, or should they face the full force of law?
Absolutely insane. I mean, I still think he claims over 70. I feel like it maybe it is in the hundreds. You're probably right, Pookie. Now that I think, I forgot about the extra times that he went forward and claimed to, have done another murder to this one or another murder to that one. And the sad part is 90% of them are all in that area. That's crazy. How many people, how many lives? It's nuts. Give me something here. Like I said, this one, some of the stuff in these I have to cut out due to YouTube, so that shortens them down a bit. Let me see here. I may be able to run this other one too for you guys. One moment. If not, we can just talk about him next. Where's it at? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, this guy is like cold-hearted for sure. All right, and give some of this here. One moment, guys. One moment, guys. Yeah, he wholeheartedly claims to have hated every person he touched that he did this to. You know what I mean? That's a lot of hate, folks. That is a lot of hate. All right, guys. Let me give you a little insight into this. Is an interview with him that I thought you guys would be interested in hearing. All right. Okay. Again, let me know how the audio is, folks.
I didn't really think I had an urge to kill her. I just wanted her to stop.
Hold on. Let me give you subtitles because he talks fast. All right.
And
What did you want to do to her?
What did I want to do there? Just to have her stop and.
But how would you do it? What did you think in your head about how you would do it? That's what we're trying to get at. When did you first think about treating your mom violently to get what you wanted her to do?
Probably in 4th grade.
Okay, there we go. Fourth.
5th and 6th was probably at that grade.
Why does he hate women? Sexual. I think, like I said, he's talking about it now. I think it had to do with his mother. Part of it, and right here he's claiming that he treated his mother basically like crap to get her to do what he wanted her to do, and so on and so forth. So I think it started here for whatever reason. I've been looking for a backstory on him, and it was hard to find, so I'm still digging on that, guys. But he talks a little bit about some of it in some of these interviews. So
What was in your mind that you wanted to do to get her to treat you a certain way? What did you want to do to your mom here?
I wanted her to stop being angry at me for not knowing how to.
But she wasn't stopping.
No, she wasn't stopping.
Was she?
No.
She kept picking at you, belittling you, embarrassing you. I mean, that's pretty clear from yesterday.
It happened in school too, so I had.
So what was your way of retaliating against her in your mind? What were you thinking to do to your mom?
I was thinking of hurting her. I just wanted her to stop and let me alone. Angry at her for pushing on me to remember, and I just couldn't remember, and I just wanted her to stop.
But she didn't.
She didn't know.
She didn't stop. So somewhere in the 4th or 5th grade, that sense of helplessness that you had not being able to get her to stop would very likely have produced thoughts of taking back some power and control over your mom to get the bitch to shut up. I mean, I'm sorry, but Gary, that's what we hear. And that's one of the things we're looking to get a better understanding of.
During that thing, I usually took it out on other things instead of hurting her. Living things, killing animals.
Okay.
Killing animals. I stabbed a kid one time.
Okay.
Stabbed a kid with a knife.
Tell me about that.
Down by Chinook, where I used to go to school. And
see, he just gives me the heebie-jeebies, just the way he looks. You know what I mean? The way that he talks and stuff. And this is what kills me is he pretty much hates women. Okay, I'm not saying all women, but he's being interviewed by a woman right now, and I can only imagine as he's talking to this woman what he's thinking about. That he's thinking about hurting her. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I was playing and stabbed him in the side, and I didn't kill him. And I must have been about 6th grade. I think it was 7th grade. And that was sometime I was breaking out windows, throwing rocket windows at each.
Not interested in that.
That's what I took my aggression on. I couldn't take it on my mom. I had to take it on my animals and
How many
the
animals
kids.
did you kill?
Oh, I killed a lot of birds, but one cat suffocated in his chest. And shot babies at dogs to hurt them, and threw rocks at my brother. About that time, I think I was eating out of that though.
You couldn't take your aggressions out on your mom.
No, I couldn't.
But you could think about it.
I could think about it, and
What'd you think?
I thought about hurting her, so she'd shut up and leave me alone. And
how did you think about hurting your mom?
killing her.
And how would you do that?
With my hands, or I didn't have no guns or anything, so I didn't. It had been hands or.
And then after she was dead, what were you going to do in your head?
In my head, I don't know what I would do. I just wanted her to stop. One time there, they were going to put me in a special school. I didn't want that.
You refuse to give me my security deposit back, so I cursed him. Within a necessary takes time. Got you. Yeah, that's my thought, Kim. And welcome, Life, Love, and True Crime. Good to have you.
My dad and my mom were arguing about it all the time. And it was for retarded people that had been retarded, I think. So I was mad at it.
Welcome, April.
The kids. And wanting to hurt her. And hurt her bad.
What does that mean? Hurt her bad? Help me to understand that.
Just beat her up so she wouldn't leave me alone. And
how did you do that in your head?
My hands. Beat her up with my hands. Maybe use a knife.
And what would you do with the knife?
I'd probably stab her with it. She was a big problem I had. I mean, there's Dad was working all the time, and she was one that was in control, and she was constantly trying to get me to do better in school, and I just couldn't do better. I wanted to have her stop, and the only way was to kill her, to hurt her bad.
Help me explain. Help me understand a knife.
Well, the knives are in the drawer. That would be, I use a knife on that stand-up boy, and use a knife on her if I wanted to. It's a way of killing. And
walk me through what you were going to do with the knife in your head to your mother.
Cut her throat. She wouldn't stop degrading me and putting me in I couldn't remember things, and that was the only way I could think of hurting her to get her to stop.
When did you think about having sex with your mother?
When 14 or 15, I think.
Tell me about that. It's about the same time frame.
Mm-hmm. I'd see her out sunbathing, and I feel that she, she'd be good to have sex with, and that she's my mother, and I never really, was the only woman in my life other than neighbor girls, but so that she get fantasies of.
Yes, I didn't know. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but he had sexual fantasies about his mother. Pookie's a little surprised, I can tell. Yeah, that was one of the big things that really made him. I mean, he's a serial killer. Okay, he's bad as bad can be. When that came out, I was the same way. My jaw was on the floor. I was just kind of like, what? Oh, bad guy. So yeah, this guy's psychologically just destroyed. Just saying, guys, everything that can be wrong is wrong. Invite and threat. I can't invite him, Hunter. Dustin might be able to. I don't have the ability to invite people that way. I just put it out through YouTube or through Twitter, and everybody that is able to do it. can jump in. I don't have the ability to invite, so cover your eye. Yeah, we could use them in here, that's for sure. But yeah, this guy's a sick one for sure.
Had sex with her and wanting to, but being restricted on that part.
Explain to me fantasies and restricted on that part. Your
Well,
word.
because she's my mother, it's not right for having sex with your mother. And she's always in two pieces, and she'd come off work, she'd go in the backyard. So he was inviting to fantasize with her. She was there sunbathing and tan, and it was a something that really intrigued me. As all women like this, they're different, and it roused me to. I get a hard on sometimes, and it was the only time I had an opposite sex. In class, everybody's clothed and stuff like that. This was a woman that was sometimes, laying down with no bra on. You couldn't see anything but bare skin, and it was a turn on in a way, and I enjoyed looking out the window at her when she wasn't watching.
Did your mom enjoy that?
She didn't even know I was there. She was down just sunbathing, and she'd turn over, and before she turned over, she always fastened her bra and turned over, and maybe a little bit up here to show the tan marks. And I stared and looked out all the time.
And had your fantasies.
I had a fantasy, yes.
It makes sense to me. Makes sense that you would have a fantasy.
Mhm.
Need to have you tell me what that was.
Just a fantasy of wanting to have sex, touch her, feel her body, have her show me how to have sex. Because mothers teach you a lot of things, It's just a fantasy. It's something she wouldn't do it, but it's
What would in your fantasy? What would your mom have you do to her?
have me do to her. My fantasy would be to explore, to find different things what women has, girls have that guys don't have. Show me how to have sex, good sex.
What?
What the woman wants, and feel every bit of her body to enjoy.
Thank you, Heather. I was just thinking that. Yeah, he had kids, I believe. He had a family, guys. You know what I mean? It's just insane that he had these thoughts about his own mother. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you, Heather. I was gonna say that myself, but thank you. Some of this stuff is quite sensitive. And if anybody is uncomfortable, please feel free to step away, just so you know. But this is Mr. Gary Ridgway. This is who he is. So,
a woman and have sex with her.
But at the same time in your life, and listen carefully to this. At the same time in your life, you also hate your mom for what she's doing to you.
Yes.
So how are those thoughts and fantasies colliding together? Because we know that happens. How are they colliding together in your head?
And colliding together in my head when she was just laying down there, she was more of a sex object than a mother, and more of the fantasies of having sex with her and nothing to have and to kill her. It was two different things. When she was always Dr. Jekyll Hyde, when she's down there, she's a sex fantasy, sex object. When she's up there trying to get me to read, and she's the other side of something I hated. I loved the part of her being a sex object, but I didn't like the part of her being a mother and working with me, is trying to help me in reading, and I liked the sex part better than I liked the mother that was.
So what he's saying is that he didn't want her to be his mother, but he didn't like her being his mother and mothering him and making him read and do his schoolwork and this, and that. But he liked the fact that she was a sex object to him, his own mother. I mean, this goes beyond the levels of disturbing. Way beyond the levels of disturbing. So yeah.
Always trying to belittle me and because I wasn't.
All right, hold on, guys. One second. And to him, there was nothing abnormal, Cece. This was normal to him in his mind. That's the problem. That's why I'm glad that this person is locked up. I mean, it's sad that he had to, unfortunately, unalive probably well over 100 people to be where he's at. But I mean, being in society right now, like, this is insane. You know what I mean? You're right, Dustin. I was looking for some, and I can probably find some for you, Heather. Just let me get the rest of this going here. There's a little bit more to it. And then I will go ahead and do that for you. This case had me scared to death as I moved to Wyoming in 80 and I lived in Washington State in 89, 91. I'm sure any woman that lived in the Washington State area in that realm of time was probably petrified just to do anything. You know what I mean? It's horrible. So at least I think we're past that part.
I didn't really think I had an urge to kill her. I just wanted her to stop. And
what did you want to do to her?
what did I want to do there?
Oh, this is the other. They restarted it and added it to the end. Okay, that doesn't make sense. 1 second. I think this has some pictures of her and of him when he was younger.
On a scale of killers from 1 to 10, do you think you're one of the best of all time?
I rate myself as probably number one.
So that's pretty damn good, isn't it?
That's pretty good, you know.
Were you a happy kid or an angry kid?
I was an angry kid having a hard time in school.
Short and stocky, more of a wrestler type guy.
Well, you know, psychiatrists are always interested in talking with people about their mothers. Now, what can you tell me about your relationship?
Oh, here we go again.
Will help me understand why you would.
Well, I hope they're going to show her.
Dad wasn't around that much. He was working all the time.
Well, that's a picture of his father and his mother. So, I mean, she looks like a typical mother in the 50s or the 60s, in my opinion. That's probably a bouffant hairdo with the beehive looking thing. I know his dad. I don't know. I don't know.
She was trying to get me to do better in school and ruin her beauty.
Tell me when you first started having fantasies about hurting prostitutes.
There it is, folks. It's an interesting situation, to say the very least. And I will give you guys a look at his wife real quick here. Another little piece for it. Just to give you a look into his entire life, guys. I mean,
Gary Ridgway has become known
Little
as
bits
the
and
Green
pieces
River
of
Killer.
it.
That's right. He's the man who terrorized the Northwest back in the 1980s. He murdered more than 48 women and more than any other serial killer in U.S. history. The IF5's Liz Roca reports.
July 1982, a woman's body is found in the Green River. Her name, Wendy Caulfield. No one knew it then, but she was the first victim of a brutal serial killer. 4 more women's bodies turned up in August. They'd been strangled. Most of them worked the streets around the SeaTac Strip. By the late 80s, more than 50 women were either dead or missing, but the identity of their killer remained a mystery. Until 2001.
And you know what's weird with him, guys, is like most serial killers have a like an MO, you know, what their type is, what they're looking for, what they'll go after. But this guy, I mean, it seemed pretty much it was wide open for him. Is if they were a prostitute, he was done with it. He hated them. It was what it was. So, and again, I think that goes back. I think that's my philosophy behind him is that he punished these women that he unalived for being angry at himself, for feeling the way he did about his mother, and blamed her for that feeling. So again, it circles back around to that's why he unalived these people, because in his mind he was unaliving his mother. You see what I'm saying? This is his mind is so sadly warped, guys. This one is something that could never be rehabilitated, fixed, cured, anything. So it's definitely another one of these minds. I said I wish we could plug into a TV set and just watch. You know what I mean?
When DNA tied a mild-mannered truck painter named Gary Ridgway to 3 Green River victims.
Pulled her back as far as I could. And
A year and a half later, Ridgway gave police a detailed confession. He even led investigators to the undiscovered graves of some of his victims.
guilty.
In 2003, Ridgway pleaded guilty to 48 murders. Although it looked like the final chapter, one story remained untold. Ridgway's wife, Judith, who looked so stunned, so surprised the day of his arrest. After 6 years, she's out of hiding and ready to tell her story.
What do you remember? I was in shock that day when I heard someone driving up in the driveway, and I couldn't believe it.
The first time I choked like this.
When she found out about the secret
Pulled her back as far as I could.
her husband had been keeping, shock and shame drove her into hiding. She never answered the phone. She changed her name, her hair color, and appearance. She wanted to look nothing like the suburban housewife married to Gary Ridgway, the mild-mannered truck painter, who turned out to be the notorious Green River Killer. A discovery both devastating
I still can't believe it, but it has happened.
and humiliating for Judith Ridgway, the serial killer's ex-wife.
Oh, it was like a brick wall dropped in front of me, and didn't know.
The thing about these, like him, like that picture right there, guys. These people look like the classic people next door. Super innocent and nothing. The serial killers, look at you expect them to look like one second. You expect them to look like a monster of some sort or something. You know what I mean? And look at these two together. I mean, obviously his wife wasn't, but you know, and she was normal. But they look like the absolute perfect pair of the people next door is what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Wife.
Oh,
I got you on that one, Brandy.
it was like a brick wall dropped in front of me, and didn't know what to do. Everything stopped.
And it feels that way even today as if time is standing still, because Judith can still hear the sound of police cars coming down the driveway to deliver the news.
It's a day I'll probably never forget.
A day when life as she knew it began to unravel. How could the man she adored for 16 years be a killer?
He was always happy. His smile never changed. One for me.
Gary had always been a loving husband.
He made me feel like a newlywed every day.
They met in 1985, married in 88. she moved into Gary's modest Rambler in SeaTac, a home where, unbeknownst to her, scores of young women had been brutally murdered.
Right.
From there, they moved to their dream home in Auburn. Judith describes their life as loving and content. They were surrounded by treasured pets and took many weekend trips that hold fond memories even today.
What I miss the most is the love that I had in our life.
Maybe they didn't have kids. I thought for sure he had kids, but I'm guessing not.
And he was the best to me. And
that's why it was easy for Gary to convince her his arrest was just a case of mistaken identity.
He was reassuring me that everything would be okay. It was painful.
Painful in part because the pieces just didn't fit. Gary had never raised a hand to her, never even raised his voice.
I thought there was at least one child, Heather.
Always
Thank
had
you.
a logical explanation. He was working overtime at Kenwood
Right.
or attending a union meeting.
You never saw anything suspicious?
No.
Still, detectives went through the Ridgway's cozy home with a fine-tooth comb. This never-before-seen video shows the aftermath of a necessary but intrusive search that sent Judith reeling. Investigators seized her jewelry and some of her clothing, convinced they could be trophies Gary took from his victims. Still, in Judith's mind, Gary was innocent.
I was still in just such denial.
And then a series of discoveries and photographs shattered Judith's trust. Suddenly, all the pieces that didn't fit began to fall into place. Judith found a stash of condoms in the couple's garage. Detectives found more, stuffed in the framework of Gary's pickup truck. And it gets worse. They tore Judith's car apart. The crime lab found traces of semen. Investigators told Judith Gary had probably used her car to pick up some of his victims.
Then I felt the anger that he had sex with someone else, that he hurt me. He betrayed me. He said he did not do anything with those women, but then when I found the condoms and stuff, then I realized that he did.
But for Judith, there would be one more staggering surprise. Gary had killed 4 of his 48 victims during the years he was with her.
Oh, I'd say, why you so.
Yeah, I agree, Cece. She's a little different too.
Why did you put me through all this?
And why, Judith thought, did he kill all those women?
Do you think about the women and their families?
Oh, yes. My heart goes out to all of the families and the victims that he hurt, and I can't even imagine what they've been through.
And what about him, the man she believed was her Prince Charming? Judith refuses to visit Gary in prison. She won't take his calls, and she told him to stop writing letters. But her heart is still conflicted.
Do you love him?
No. I love the man I knew, and I hate the man that took him away.
For the Eye at 5, I'm Liz Roca in Seattle.
And Judith now believes that there were 2 distinct, different Garys. Is she happy that he escaped the death penalty? Well, believe it or not, she says no. She believes he deserved to die for killing all those young women and girls.
Well, there it is, guys. The Green River Killer, Mr. Gary Ridgway.
Amen.
Yeah, I was married 3 times, 1 child. Thank God there was only 1 child. I'll give it that. And I had researched something somewhere that one of the times he was married, that there was a stepdaughter that he tried to kind of put himself on. There was no proof of that. That was based on something else. I don't know how true that is. It could be very well be, because she wasn't his biological child, but I don't know for a fact, guys. I can't find proof on that one. Welcome, Mrs. Boone. Good to see you. Oh, you're being quiet. Okay. You must be sneaking at work again. Thank you, Miss Heather. I appreciate that so very much. Again, anybody that would consider supporting the channel, anything and everything is appreciated, folks. Via Venmo, Cash App, or the PayPal apps. I appreciate it, and thank you so very much. By the way, does anybody have Any questions about this story or comments, theories, opinions, anything, guys, feel free to give me a call at 234-703-4047. I'd love to hear from you and hear what you have to say about it. All right, let me do something with that there. Bring that back up there. Everybody heard me. I'm not even talking loud. Good Lord. Oh, yeah, I am. I made a mistake today and nicked something here, so I had to save it all off. Thank you, Cece. She has the IQ of a suitcase. She seems a little off to me. I'm sorry. And I think she's ashamed to talk about how she actually feels in the interview. You know what I mean? But I think she really still has like serious feelings for him because he treated her probably better than anybody ever had. It's kind of crazy, you know? Oh, I see. I got what you're saying, Boone. So yeah, I mean, and you got to imagine, I'm not judging this woman by any means, but it seems to me like this was probably the love of her life. And she probably has never been with anybody else that treated her that way, or maybe she's never been with anybody else, period. We don't know, but, can we not be judgmental on how many times the marriage? I'm just surprised that I think that was meant as in that he was married 3 times. I don't think that's my mother was married 3 times. That's not a bad number. That way, you know what I mean? I think it's a surprising fact that anybody married him 3 times, period, let alone 3 different women. It's insane. I love you too. Let's see if she's got feelings for him. She needs serious help. Listen, I agree, Brandy, but here's the thing is you can't control love, the feeling of the emotion, love. You can't control it, you know? And like I said, if this woman, excuse me, if this woman had nobody else in her life or was never treated the same way he treated her, then that probably is in her mind her soulmate, and now he's gone and he turned out to be a serial killer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's probably ruined her what was, and she seems very antisocial at this, or maybe not antisocial is the right word, but like introverted now. You know what I mean? As if she doesn't want to talk to anybody. So well, let me check something here. One moment. And that's it right there, is you don't get to pick the person you fall in love with. And again, she didn't fall in love with the Green River Killer. She fell in love with Gary Ridgway and didn't know the other side of him. And as she just stated in that interview, that she believes there was 2 versions of him. So there very well could be. He very well could be schizophrenic. You know what I mean? It's never been talked about that it was diagnosed or, you know, whatever. But well, she just talked about all the condoms that they found. So probably none, Pookie. Right. I see what you're saying, Pookie. You don't get to pick your kids either, but you love them regardless. That's a fact. Those are facts. Your poor mom. Oh no, it's okay, Kyra. I understood completely. I was just saying, I think that's what that everybody's surprised that he was married 3 different times, that anybody was able to marry him 3 times. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy. That's somebody had to have seen he had to have shown something on the surface to people. You just don't decide to become a serial killer one day and it surprises everyone. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Never been married and I'm not interested. There's so many crazy Goomba out there. There's a lot of crazy guys out there. I'll tell you that much. There's a lot of mentally unstable people. Mental health is a real thing, folks. And a lot of people don't get help for it because either they're in total denial about it or they don't realize they have it, you know? So you got to be careful. That's a fact. I'm married for 3 months. I'm good. Oh, Boone. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. You seem like you would be very, very particular. And if it didn't work, it was it. You're done and never again. I gathered that from you. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything up here. Love or desperation. It could have been desperation on her part too, because, and I'm not saying that she wasn't not an attractive woman. She just seems very introverted, and you know, maybe nobody paid the attention to her that he did ever in her life. That being said, then you know, maybe that's why he was such a massive force in her life. I heard that, Pookie. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen anything about that anywhere unless I just missed it, but I heard it. He very well could be. I mean, you guys, he had sexual fantasies about his mother. Once you go to that point, anything's possible. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. Anything is possible at that point. I wonder, actually, let me see something. I think this has, let me check something here real quick. Oh, yeah, this shows, I was going to show you guys this, I forgot. One moment. This is that were confessed to all of the victims. And like I said, you guys, you'll see that there was really no specific MO for him. Okay. Welcome, Pink. No, she didn't. We looked at her already, Pink. The whole jaw reflex death thing. If he was getting, I don't think that was happening. Well, when he, and that stuff can happen because of the way that the muscles and the nerves work in our body. I don't think that was a scenario, Pookie. I'm sorry, but I don't. Mm-hmm. That's a fact, Boone. Like I said, guys, he wasn't picky. This is just sad. So very sad. Look at how many there have been just in 1983 so far. You know what I mean? Yes, these are all victims, Boone. Every one of these are his victims. To an extent, yeah. And, what can you say? Rest in peace to every single one of these poor women. And they're, God bless each and every one of their families. This is just horrifying. And guys, the thing about this is these are only the ones that he has confessed to. Okay. There's so many more. There are so many more. It's insane, you guys. And some really were just dingy hippie hitchhiker girls. Absolutely. Mostly all of his victims were prostitutes in some form. Okay. Whether they're, walking the streets or they're in truck stops or what motels, this is what his hobby seemed to be. What I don't understand is how the wife did not know that he was out doing these things at all. She had no clue whatsoever. So to me, that says that common sensely, she may not have all been there, or either that or she ignored the signs, maybe. I guess you could say. Welcome, Jody. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. That's the only thing I can think of. Absolutely, Boone. Absolutely. Human beings. I don't care what they're doing. You don't have the right to take anyone's life. You just don't. Like I said before, I've said it 1,000,001 times. The only time I will say, okay, I can understand that is if you're defending yourself, your children, or your family, and they're trying to do it to you. That's the only way I would ever condone trying to take somebody's life, period, guys. That's the only time it makes sense, So, I don't know. And I was trying to find... Where did it go? I had an interview with his niece, too. I'm trying to find it. And they have this whole thing where they've put up unidentified victims of the Green River Killer because of where they're showing up, how they're finding them. They don't even know who these people are, some of them. It's really sad. One brick shy of a load. I'm going to agree with that one. Pookie, for sure. For sure. I'm trying to find in my downloads. Where is... wait a minute. Nope. Oh, I'm not going to be able to play it. Hold on. No, I think the total number where they based it out at was 71. That's what he confessed to. And I think they still believe that there's probably 30 to 35 more. That's crazy, guys. That's Over 100 human beings. I cannot find it. The youngest Green River killer identified. In 2021, they found another victim. This is insane, guys. So nobody has anything they wanted to call in to talk about in regards to? Oh, okay. Human remains found in 1984 identified as the youngest. Now, here, I'll give this to you. This was something they just came up with. Hold on. This was new. I missed this yesterday when I was pulling this up. I'm guessing this is the most recent as well as the, no, not most recent, but the youngest one ever. All right. Again, guys, let me know about the audio. This probably won't be just a quick run through.
It's a technology that's been used to solve cold cases across the country in recent years. This group of volunteers uploaded data to those public DNA websites. And because of their work, we're shining light on the MO of one of the country's most notorious serial killers. For 30 years, remains of a missing SeaTac girl belonged to a teen simply known as Jane Doe. Today, we know that girl was 14-year-old Wendy Stevens, a girl who investigators say died at the hands of Gary Ridgway, a.k.a. the Green River Killer.
I think that it's good to bring back into the public consciousness what a monster Gary Ridgway was.
Ridgway pleaded guilty in 2003 to murdering 48 women. And at the time of his plea, 4 of those women remain unidentified. A man who preyed on young women, girls. A man who managed to evade police for nearly 20 years.
Our goal is to identify the victims.
Karen Binder is a volunteer with the DNA Doe Project. They take missing persons DNA and cross-reference it with publicly available DNA databases. Sites like Ancestry.com and 23andMe that have become increasingly popular.
We find those common ancestors. We can surmise that that person is also an ancestor of the Jane Doe or John Doe in question.
Branches of
that was looking for her, and that's our goal, is to restore the victim's name.
But it's important for those families, important for the survivors, that they know that we are still working on these cases, even after 35 years or so, and even after Gary Ridgway is going to rot away and die in prison.
Ridgway himself is tied to 48 murders, all women, though he himself evaded death. He's currently serving a life sentence.
Yeah, boom, there's a movie, and we're going to do that one soon.
Detectives will continue working to identify those 3 remaining unidentified victims. Apart from this case, they say there are more than 300 unsolved cold cases in King County. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
Yeah, we're going to do that one soon. It's coming, I promise you. There's 2 movies about Ramirez, the Night Stalker. So, all right, guys. Let's see here. So, tonight on the poll, the 2 that we're gonna go with are the other one we were gonna look at last week, Heather. And there is a movie out. There's actually a movie that just came out that I watched. It's really good. If you guys can't check it out, it's really good. The Boston Strangler. Okay, that's one that we're looking into. Okay. Is that one you're interested in, Boone? By the way, guys, I appreciate any ideas you guys want about any of these stories. Throw them out. That's kind of what this is about, guys. Like I say all the time, this is not my channel. It's your channel. So Give me your ideas, thoughts, whatever you guys are interested in knowing about. I'd like to bring it to you guys if I can. All right, Boone, I appreciate it. Please do. Please do. Please do. I appreciate that more than you know, Boone. I really do. We need it. We really do. There you go, Heather. I like that. Yeah, guys, cast your vote. Do you want to check out the Boston Strangler? Actually, I'm not going to tell you who the other one is yet because I noticed how that worked out. I'm going to wait till you guys vote on this one, and then we'll pick the next one, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it will be Ramirez. Or maybe it'll be the true story behind Nightmare on Elm Street. And it has nothing to do with Freddy Krueger. But there is a story about a real Freddy Krueger, guys. Again, everybody, if you would, please, if you haven't, leave a little DNA on that like button for me, please. And please, please share this out. And at the very end, when it's all said and done, guys, if you would, please leave a comment. Whether you loved it, hated it, you like me, you hate me, whatever it is, please do. I'll tell you what, that'll be the other option is Ramirez. Okay. And if we don't pick it tonight, I'll try to set it up for if we can get it for next Monday. That way Kim can be here too. So no, actually that didn't make sense. We're not going to put that on the ballot for tonight then because or on the poll for tonight. I said the ballot like we're voting for somebody important. On the poll, that way we do it. We'll do it Thursday night. And maybe we'll be able to do it on the following Monday. All right. That way Miss Kim can be here too. Vote away, everybody. Trying to think of what my other option was. I was thinking about it earlier today. Well, we might as well get it out of the way. And I have a lot about that one because he was born and raised right here where I'm from. And I know most of you guys probably have seen everything and know everything about it, but it's still interesting for some of those. Some of you guys just don't know anything about any of these guys. You know, I've noticed that with some people. So it's kind of cool to be able to tell these stories. So I guess at this point, we're going to go with Mr. John Wayne Gacy. Okay, Boone, no problem. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it, dear. Right now, especially, I got some stuff we're trying to get together that we really need it for. So I guess it'll be the John Wayne Gacy story after is the other option here once everybody's done voting on this one. Yes, thank you so much, Boone. I appreciate that more than you know. We're kind of in a pickle with something right now. We got to re-register it, guys, or she don't get to work. And it was a surprise, so we weren't planning for that. You are very awesome. Very awesome, Miss Boone. Very awesome. Yes, Miss Cece's correct. Any donations are appreciated to the channel. And we do love you all. And there's the links for Venmo, Cash App, and the PayPal, guys. What's up, Mikey? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. You've been here though, Boone. It's okay. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We miss you in the mornings though. I promise you that. I know you got to work, but all right. I guess that should be good. Let's see what the outcome on this one is, folks. The Boston Strangler. And if you guys get a chance, I watched that movie this morning, guys. It is really good. It has Keira Knightley in it. It's a really good movie. Oh, you're all right, bro. Don't worry about that, Mike. I know you're here when you can be here, and I know you support the channel, so that's all that matters, brother. That's all that matters. Yes, we do. All right, B. No problem. No problem, B. We love you. All right, let's see what we got here on this one. 71% of you said yes to the Boston Strangler, and 28% said no. Jody says, I'm a wimp. I made it through Wolf Creek, but only maybe 20 minutes of the second one. I did not much sleep. Oh, I'm sorry, Jody. I am sorry. I understand. Some people just aren't built for this kind of stuff, you know? DJ Day, huh? I can pull that for you guys if you want me to. Sorry, guys. My voice keeps breaking up. We can do a music day again. If you guys want me to. I tell you what, we'll do 3 polls tonight. We'll try that off. Yeah, I'll demonetize it just for you guys. We don't have to worry about it, and we'll have a ball with it. So let's see. Oh my God. I forgot what I was going to say for a minute. All right. So we got 78% on that one, and now we're rolling with Gacy. Let's see. Vote, vote, vote. Yeah, Jody, if this is a problem, hon, please don't worry about it. I don't ever want you to be uncomfortable, scared, upset, nervous, any of that. We do daily streams in the mornings, usually starting anywhere between 11 and 11:30, and they run 3 to 4 hours, sometimes 5, 6. I've done 8-hour streams. Not that I'm trying to, I'm just saying. You're more than, if you can be there, you're more than welcome to be there. And not all of these are horrible at nighttime, but I absolutely don't want you to be uncomfortable. John Wayne Gacy was the gentleman. I'll show you. Well, if we pick that one tonight, I'll show you a clip of it. But he's the gentleman that dressed up as he was a clown. Okay. And he did some interesting. He had some interesting attributes, I'll be honest with you, if you want to call it that. That's a fact. Yeah, I've been told that my DJ skills are pretty decent. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, he dressed up as he was a clown. Wow, that one's moving faster than the other one did. Looks like it's already at the same. We'll have to see here. Another reason why I like to not like clowns. I get it. My oldest son is petrified of clowns. And well, I'm a huge horror fan as well as like a Stephen King fan. So It was one of, a staple in my home movie-wise and books and all that. And all the other kids, they loved it. So when we watched It, he wanted to watch it but didn't want to watch it. But he watched it, and he was grown, and he was pretty much crawled up inside me while watching it. He never watched it again after that. And then when American Horror Story came out with Sideshow as their one series. The clown that was in that, he absolutely lost a grip. I made an entire costume. I made the mask, the mouthpiece, and everything. And you guys, I have to find a picture and show you the picture. I looked just like him. It was great. It really was. I think I still have that part of the mask. If I can find it, I'll show it to you guys real quick here. Go take your shower. No, you're not. I don't like teenagers, folks. Mm-hmm. There it is. Yeah, I made that, and the rest of it was just the face that you paint up for Twisty the Clown. And if you guys ever watched American Horror Story. All right, Oscar. Go get a drink. Go on. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, I made that probably 8 years ago. 6 years ago. Scared Oscar now. But yeah, I put a bald cap on, okay, and then I did the whole face paint thing, and I had the little hair thing sticking out, and then I made this out of rubber latex and painted it, and that's it. I won a couple costume contests that year too, guys. It was pretty good. Yeah, I love Twisty the Clown. I hope I didn't scare anybody. I got a couple other clown masks, but I don't want to scare anybody, so I won't do it. You should wear it at every place you need to wear a mask on. I actually did wear that one time out when COVID hit, and people were walking away from me on purpose, you know. We've taken him to the vet, Pookie, multiple times. They can't. We put him on medications. He's 18 years old, and he was only supposed to live to be about 12. Okay, and they just said to just let it be. There's nothing they can do, even if they put him on medications. It's not heartworm. He doesn't have heartworm, but he has a heart problem. And he's never had heartworm. He's always been very healthy, but over the past year, he started really, really doing that. And he takes 2 medications, but he still does that. And he has a seizure every couple seizures a week. Yeah, he's 18. He's not supposed to be around anymore, you know what I mean? And he's still pretty active for his age. It's weird. Like, he's very lived way past his time. So I got you, Jody. Gotcha. Yeah, I did. I think I told most of you guys that I went to school for theatrical makeup and special effects. And it was a class that special effects makeup artist Tom Savini taught, who did Night of Living Dead, Friday the 13th Part 3, multiple other Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead movies, and so on and so forth. So that's how I learned how to make that stuff. And like I said, if you, where'd it go? It's very flexible. And then I put a little, like an elastic rope on the back of string to kind of hold it to my head. But it's here's the thing is you can heat it up if I want to, and it'll form fit to my face better. So, and it needs touched up. It's all dried now. Like if I'm gonna do it for a costume, I make theatrical blood out of Karo syrup, red and blue food coloring, and sometimes peanut butter for like clots. And I paint it on here, and it sticks, and it stays like wet looking, and it looks real. So, and that's one of the biggest things I learned back in the day was how to make theater blood that you can eat. That's how they make it come out of their mouths. And all it is Karo syrup with food coloring. And like I said, you use peanut butter for like chunks and gross looking stuff. You can use the crunchy peanut butter. It's even better. It really looks gross, you know. Plaque in the teeth causes plaque in the heart. That's true. That is true. Do a show on the clown thing. There's a couple of them. Oh, yeah. I thought I had told you guys that, Heather. Years and years and years and years ago. He's really cool. For those of you that don't know who he is, I can show you real fast. I have a 30-plus-year-old nephew who weighs 400, and he finally told me how he's definitely afraid of my clowns. Oh. Gotcha. This guy's been in a lot of the Stephen King movies and stuff like that. When he's been in the movies, he usually has a cameo in the movies that he does. And then he's been in quite a few other movies too. He was on David Letterman years ago. I'll show you that real quick. He's a really...
my first guest tonight is an actor.
Really good. He started off as a stuntman. And he was doing the makeup on the side thing and so on and so forth, but he's really cool. You guys voted on him? Okay, I'll pull that one next. Let me show you this real quick of who this guy is. And there it is, folks. Mr. Tom Savini. That's where I learned all my special effects. There's another one that oh god, it was from Creepshow. I'm trying to think of the guy. He was I know his name, but I can't think of it. He actually was in the one of the videos that we watched too. He played the one grandfather in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Okay, I know his name. It's on tip. I can't say, but anyway, he was in Creepshow, and it was the one episode where he lived in an all sterilized room, all white. Everything was, and everything. He was a germaphobe, and everything he touched, he used like gloves, and he wiped everything off, and he had like a vacuum garbage can that sucked everything in, and he wouldn't have to touch anything, right? And what the hell is his name? It's gonna drive me nuts. But anyway, it was an irony episode because the guy ended up having cockroaches, and I'm talking cockroaches like millions upon millions of cockroaches. And they actually used real bugs for that. He had told us the story behind that. And they made a dummy of his bust of his upper half of his body, and they had a hole because the roaches come out of the dummy's mouth and out of his throat. Like they eat a hole through and they come out. It's pretty wicked the way it was done, guys. But yeah, he did all the Creep Show special effects, Night of the Living Dead, the remake, Part 2, Day of the Dead. Oh God, there's so many. You look it up. I mean, there's so many movies he did. He's amazing. And the guy that he was talking about in the beginning is the guy that he bases all his stuff on. But like I said, I can sit here in front of you guys and make all sorts of different prosthetics and the theatrical blood, all that kind of stuff. And it's literally, a lot of the stuff is like he said too. It's just household stuff. You can make a zombie. Maybe I'll show you guys around Halloween. And I've done it with my kids. I've made zombie makeup on 3 of my kids, myself, a bunch of other people have come to me, and all I use is toilet paper, a roll of toilet paper or tissue, cotton balls, Elmer's glue. If you're like me, you'll remember this about 2 in the morning. I'm sorry, Jody. It shouldn't have been too scary. And then you use, of course, different applicator paints and stuff. And liquid latex is everybody's friend. And I can make the nastiest zombie you've ever seen in your life. You can use olives. Green olives I've used before. Pieces of food, guys. Peas. Frozen peas, I've used it before. You know, I mean, there's all sorts of things you can use. Just look around your house. You know, ripped up rags. They make great, like, skin tears and stuff like that. Spaghetti, yes, spaghetti. Spaghetti sauce, meaty, chunky spaghetti sauce. I mean, we've done, let me see, we've used, what did we do the one time? We made a whole intestinal stomach scenario out of just a bunch of chopped up hot dogs and meat and stuff like that. Of course, you have to throw it away. Lunch meat, it can be kind of expensive when you use food, but it is what it is. Balloons, I've used the long balloons. What makes good brains? Liquid latex. It's better to form a brain and make it that way rather than to try to use. I mean, you can use scrambled eggs for brains if you want to be super realistic and if it's going to be like a quick shot or something like that. We've done it where we've set and you build like a thing out of scrambled eggs, and that way somebody can actually take a handful and eat it. You know, it's pretty damn gross, but it's cool as hell too. Right. It doesn't have to be all horror. That's the thing. He's done other stuff other than horror stuff. That's his prime thing that he does. But yeah, spaghettis, green beans. We've done things with green beans, food coloring, and all sorts of different things. Make a lot of different stuff, folks. It's fun, especially when you get done and you're looking at what you've done. You know, it turns out to be really cool. And like I said, this is liquid latex, and I made the form for it based on, you know, the shape of your face. It's a little big because I don't like it super tight. And like I said, I can take mineral spirits or anything and stick it here, let it sit for a minute, and it stays. Jello molds, yes. I have 3 of those brain Jello molds. You're still here, Pookie. I thought you were leaving too. But we have these plastic Jello molds, and that's what you do is you can pack the scrambled eggs in there and let it sit, and then you pull the top off, and then it looks like you dye it, of course, okay, with the food coloring, but then you can just eat it. You can do Jello, you can do colored Jello if you can find it. And here's the trick to using Jello is you add pudding mixed to the Jello. And it takes a little longer to get hard, okay? But it changes it's not translucent like Jello would be, and you can eat it still too. You got to really, really get it like frozen so that it doesn't fall apart with the pudding in it. It's crazy, but it works. We've made brains with those Jello molds. We got 3 of those plastic things, and we've made brains out of styrofoam or that blow foam, okay? And then you just leave it sit. So I gotcha. It's a blast, Pink, and they're fun to eat too in front of people. You take a spoon and take a, you know what I mean. We've done my wife. We have Halloween parties, insane Halloween parties because of this stuff. We both love Halloween. We made a full body, and we used food to make it. The head was made out of lunch meat, cold cuts that you could eat. And then we put a tray where the body would be, and we had different flavored wings in there you could pick out of, and then you just build the body around it. It looked really cool. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Halloween's I'm hoping this year, since I'm settled in now, you know, I'm hoping that this year for Halloween that we can do some fun stuff in here somehow. Okay, that poll is done. Let's check that one. Raspberry Jello, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup hot water, a cup buttermilk. There it is. Yep. So 68% said yes to Gacy and 31% said no. So I guess we're going to go with, where'd it go? Let me check it. Is it up here somewhere still? Thought it was. Well, the other one won because it was 71%. So Boston Strangler it is, folks. So that's your homework. To Thursday, as you guys need to check out the movie Boston Strangler if you can, please. I think you'll like it a whole lot. It's a really good movie. And then we will vote Thursday night, and hopefully we can throw out the one that Kim wanted to watch for Monday night. So I appreciate you guys. I really do. Love you guys to death. It's pretty good. I liked it, Brandy. Clowns rock, Pookie. Evil clowns especially. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight. Again, guys, if you don't have nothing else going on tonight, please jump on over to Dustin's channel. Yes, it is out. It just came out. I picked it up on my View TV app. Stars Keira Knightley. It's a great movie. It tells the full story too, and it's really got some twists and turns in it. So check it out. Did you see it already, Heather? It's pretty good. But if you guys don't have nothing going on, jump on over to Dustin's channel, Professional Paranormal Research, guys. There's a lot goes on over there. It's really cool. And if you want to see me some more, that's where I'll be. So you guys will get to see me. So thank you guys so very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. I hope you guys got the gist of the story, enjoyed it, and a little bit here at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. And I thank each and every one of you guys for everything you do for my channel, for supporting me, supporting my channel, supporting my moderators and mods. As always, I appreciate everything you guys do. Mama Bear, Miss Heather, Miss Brandy, Miss Molly, Dustin, Red, Drift, all you guys. You guys are amazing moderators. Miss Cece, I thank you guys for everything you guys do. And once again, guys, I will be here tomorrow in between 11 and 11:30. And we got some stuff to talk about, guys. So you guys have a great rest of your night. If I don't see you next door at Dustin's channel. If I don't, I'll see you in the morning. I love you guys to death. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. And don't change a thing, folks, because you are the beautiful people. You guys have an amazing night. Bye-bye.